It's late 1977, and Seattle is a city under siege. Young women are vanishing 3 in a month, no clues, no suspects. The police are grasping at straws, but one man steps forward with a radical idea. FBI agent John Douglas believes the killer's mind holds the key. He sketches a chilling profile, a charming, white male, 20s, manipulative, a predator hiding in plain sight. That profile points to Ted Bundy, one of America's most notorious serial killers. How did Douglas peer into a monster's soul? And how does criminal profiling catch dangerous offenders like Bundy? Hi, welcome to Cold Signal, where we unravel the darkest corners of true crime. If you're hooked on how killers get caught, hit subscribe and let's dive into this gripping story. Trust me, you won't look at crime the same way again. Criminal profiling isn't just a plot twist in Mindhunter or Criminal Minds, it's a real science that's brought down some of the most dangerous criminals in history. By piecing together crime scenes, victim patterns, and tiny behavioral tics, profilers slip into the minds of killers, rapists, and arsonists to predict their next move. Since the 1970s, the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit has used profiling to catch over 1,000 offenders, from serial killers to bombers. But how do they do it, and why does it feel like they're reading minds? Today, we're telling the story of criminal profiling. How it was born in the FBI's darkest days. The step-by-step process of building a killer's profile. To real cases where profiling cracked the impossible. Its limits because even profilers make mistakes, and where this science is headed next. This isn't just a story about catching criminals, it's about understanding the human mind at its most twisted. So, grab a seat and let's follow the trail. Oh, and before we start, drop a comment. What's the creepiest true crime case you've ever heard? I'm curious. Our story begins in the 1970s, a time when serial killers seemed unstoppable. David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, was terrorizing New York City, shooting couples in parked cars. Ted Bundy was leaving a trail of bodies across the West. Police relied on fingerprints and witnesses, but these killers were ghosts, no evidence, no mercy. The public was panicking, and the FBI was under pressure to act. Enter Howard Teeton and Patrick Mullany, 2 FBI agents with a wild idea. What if the key to catching a killer wasn't at the crime scene, but in their head? In 1972, they founded the Behavioral Science Unit, the seed of today's BOW. Their plan: study known killers to predict unknown ones. They sat down with monsters like Charles Manson and Ed Kemper, the code killer, asking chilling questions. Why did you kill? How did you choose your victims? What they learned was shocking. Killers left psychological fingerprints patterns in their crimes that revealed who they were. By 1977, their work paid off. John Douglas, a young profiler, was called to Seattle to help catch the mystery killer targeting women. He studied the crime scenes. Clean, no fingerprints, victims lured away. Douglas profiled a charming, educated white male, 20 to 30, with a knack for manipulation. That profile matched Ted Bundy, leading to his arrest in 1978. But profiling wasn't just luck. It was a new science, and it was about to change everything. Let's see how it works. Imagine you're an FBI profiler staring at a crime scene. No fingerprints, no DNA, just a puzzle of clues. How do you catch a killer? Criminal profiling is like being a detective, psychologist, and artist all at once. It's about building a suspect's portrait: age, gender, personality, even their job, using behavior as your guide. Let's break it down, step by step. Step 1. Crime scene analysis. Profilers start with the scene itself. Is it organized, like Ted Bundy's kills, clean, staged, no evidence? Or disorganized, like a frantic, rage-driven murder with blood and chaos? Organized crimes point to a calculating, often psychopathic offender, typically older and experienced. Disorganized scenes suggest younger, impulsive killers, maybe with mental health issues. A 2019 FBI report says 70% of serial killers show organized traits, like planning and control. Step 2. Victimology. Who was targeted, and why? Bundy chose young, attractive women with long hair, hinting at a predator with charm and a specific fantasy. Profilers asked, was the victim high risk, like a hitchhiker, or low risk, like a suburban mom? This reveals the killer's confidence and access. For example, a killer targeting children might be someone trusted, like a teacher. Step 3. Behavioral signatures. Every killer leaves a unique mark, called a signature. It's not just how they kill, but why. David Berkowitz left taunting letters signed Son of Sam, showing a need for fame. Others pose bodies or take trophies, like jewelry. These rituals are the killer's psychological DNA, and profilers use them to link crimes. Step 4. The profile. Combining all this, profilers predict traits. A 2021 study in criminology found profiling accurately guesses age and gender in 70% of cases, but less so for race or job. A typical profile might say, white male, 25 to 35, lives alone, has a low-skilled job, drives a nondescript car. It's not magic, it's data plus instinct. But does this process always work? Let's follow to cases where profiling made history. Picture this: Washington State, 1982. The Green River becomes a graveyard as bodies of young women pile up dozens over 2 decades. The killer leaves no fingerprints, no witnesses, just fear. Local police are overwhelmed, so they call in the FBI's John Douglas. He arrives at a crime scene. A young woman, strangled, posed, dumped in a cluster with others. This isn't random, it's a ritual. Douglas dives into the case. The scenes are organized, bodies hidden, no evidence left pointing to a calculating killer. The victims are high-risk, sex workers, young, vulnerable. This suggests a local man who knows the area and blends in. Douglas's profile: a white male, 30 to 40, blue-collar job, possibly a truck driver or mechanic, with a history of failed relationships. He's unassuming, maybe even shy, but harbors deep rage. For years, the case stalls, no DNA, no leads. But in 2001, new forensic tech matches DNA to Gary Ridgway, a 52-year-old truck painter who lived near the river. Ridgway fit Douglas's profile to a T: quiet, local, blue-collar, with a string of divorces. He confessed to 49 murders, cementing profiling's role in cracking impossible cases. But profiling isn't just for serial killers. Let's look at a case that pushed its boundaries. Now let's jump to 1978. A mysterious bomber starts mailing deadly packages across American universities, airlines, random targets. By 1995, he's killed 3 people and injured 23. The FBI has nothing, no fingerprints, no face, just fear. They call him the Unabomber, and profiler James Fitzgerald gets the case. But this isn't a typical killer, so Fitzgerald tries something new: linguistic profiling. The Unabomber sent a manifesto to newspapers, ranting against technology. Fitzgerald pores over it, spotting academic jargon, phrases like cool-headed logician, and a rigid, paranoid tone. He builds a profile: a highly educated male, 40 to 50, reclusive, likely rural, with a grudge against modern society. He's meticulous, obsessive, and lives off-grid. This wasn't a guess, it was the manifesto's words speaking. In 1996, the FBI publishes the manifesto, hoping for tips. David Kaczynski reads it and recognizes his brother's writing style: quirky phrases, anti-tech views. He tips off the FBI, leading to Theodore Kaczynski, a former math professor living in a Montana cabin. Kaczynski matched Fitzgerald's profile perfectly: educated, reclusive, paranoid. Linguistic profiling rewrote the rules, proving words can catch a killer. But profiling has its flaws. Let's talk about when it goes wrong. Criminal profiling can feel like magic, but it's not infallible. Profilers are human, and humans make mistakes. Take the 2002 DC sniper case. For weeks, 2 snipers terrorized the DC area, killing 10 people at random. Early profiles pointed to a lone white male, 30 to 40, with military training, a classic sniper archetype. But the killers were John Allen Muhammad, 41, and Lee Boyd Malvo, 17, a black duo working together. The wrong profile misled police, delaying arrests and costing lives. A 2020 study in Journal of Criminal Justice found profiling struggles with complex cases deemed killers, atypical motives, or sparse evidence. Accuracy for race or ethnicity predictions drops to 50%, and stereotypes can creep in. Profiling also takes time, sometimes weeks, while killers strike again. Critics argue it's as much art as science, and over-reliance can blind investigators to other leads. So, what's the lesson? Profiling is a tool, not a silver bullet. But it's evolving, and the future looks wild. Today, criminal profiling is stepping into the future. The FBI's BAU now uses AI to crunch massive datasets, crime reports, social media, even GPS pattern spotting connections humans miss. A 2023 National Institute of Justice report says AI-assisted profiling has boosted suspect identification by 20% in pilot programs. Imagine an algorithm predicting a killer's next move before they strike. But AI isn't king yet. Profilers like John Douglas stress the human touch, empathy for victims, intuition honed by years of cases. The best profiles blend tech with gut. Looking ahead, experts predict profiling will focus on prevention, using behavioral data to spot at-risk individuals before they offend. The FBI's Threat Assessment Center already does this, stopping potential mass shooters. What do you think? Can machines ever outsmart a human profiler? Share your take in the comments. From Ted Bundy's chilling charm to the Unabomber's cryptic words, criminal profiling has turned the tide against some of history's worst offenders. It's a science, an art, and a lifeline for justice. But its flaws remind us, catching monsters is never easy. This story isn't just about profiles, it's about the people who dare to think like killers to save lives. What blew your mind today? Got a true crime case you want us to dig into? Drop it in the comments, I read every single one. If you're hooked on criminal psychology, smash that subscribe button and tap the bell for more gripping stories. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.